Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Farming Simulator 22 as we continue our Swiss chocolate run here. And I remember what I had read about slurry and manure and variable rates and all that kind of stuff. And I say remember by I went and reread the same thing I'd read last time. I don't know when I read it. It just didn't stick apparently. Just enough of it stuck to confuse me. So what they recommend is to, before you plant any crops, is to actually do the, if you're going to use manure, do the manure before you plant any crops. That way you can bring it up to a reasonable level, right? Because right now we need to get up to 140 in some places, and maybe even higher in other places, for these sugar beets, for example. Obviously going from 0 or pretty near to 0 up to 140 using just either liquid fertilizer or solid fertilizer, like the actual mineral kind of chemical, maybe for lack of a better term, fertilizer, could be very expensive. That's going to take a lot of fertilizer to bump it up that high. So if you manure first, well, you can get it up part way. That way when you come back over with the actual machines that can sense the amount of fertilizer you need later, then you can save yourself a little bit of money by not having to put as much down. So manure is a good way to kind of shortcut your way and save you some money overall. If you're going to use slurry are the ones that have, let's see here. I'm assuming it's going to be on, nope, it's going to be actually on the tankers itself. It is on the tanker itself. So we have this John Deere manure sensing, which will allow us to sense how much slurry we've got to put into the ground. And it's a little confusing, and this is part of the reason probably I got confused, is that slurry is just manure, just like manure is manure. Like slurry is just liquid manure. I'm not sure why it's called slurry. Is it just because of, is this what we call it in English, in like U.S. English? Like, what if I loaded up a different language, would it call it different thing? I'm actually not sure if that's the case or not. But effectively, slurry is just liquid manure, and then manure is just, I guess, the dry manure. Let me see. Where's my language? Because now I'm curious. It's probably the next menu. Dollar, blah, blah, blah. Might be an external menu before you even log into the game. But, you know, even in English, sometimes we call things two different things. So, but anyway, so we got solid manure here, which is good to put down as a base coating, if you will. And then plant your crops and then use the other to get it up the rest of the way. I'm not sure if I do another pass here next month with this, if that will be good enough. I'm actually going to try because, again, I've said this many times before, the best way to know how to do something is to try and potentially fail, or I guess succeed. But, so we're going to try. As far as the grass over here, grass is rolled, ready to go. We finished that contract. So I think we're ready just to go ahead and fast forward. Cows are at 70% reproduction, so we still got a couple more months before we got to worry about them. Straw's getting a little bit low, but we got plenty for at least a couple more months, so we don't have to worry about that right now. So let's go ahead and fast forward and see what the situation is with the fertilizer. And then we can try the manure one more time, or we can try to go straight to a sprayer. We got some fertilizer spray, I believe, and get it the rest of the way that way. There are ways to activate double application rate, but for some reason I didn't see that on the options. So I'm not sure if I just missed it somehow, or if it's just, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge some other time. I'm not worried about the double application rate right this second, but that could have been a way for us to save some time. Okay, so we are all tires and tracks still, so we can still fertilize with everything. So let's come over here and grab our thing again and see if we can get it up a bit more. Even if it doesn't get it up all the way, because it's not the smart sensing type, if you will, because I don't know if it actually does that from what I read, not with just the manure spreader. It should still get us at least part way enough that we can just top it off with a lot less chemicals than we would normally use. Yeah, I don't see any option to double rate it. And it might be, is it a menu in here? Is it just for some reason not on the mount on my keypad? No, I don't see it there. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. Sorry, worker. I got you confused. I hit the wrong button. Just dropped some manure in front of my cows. I'm sure they're offended. All right, let's see what this does. All right, it's spreading it out. Is it getting it to a better rate? We're actually at good, but we're not perfect. So it is getting it closer. So this, I think this is going to save us some money in the long run to go ahead and do another round of this. And we get this a lot closer. That way, when I come back with the actual sensing machinery, we're only going to have to put like a little bit of fertilizer down, which I think is the right move. So yeah, I think this is good. This is fine. But again, I think normally you might want to just do this before you fertilize anything. It probably depends on what we're gonna plant. For example, when we plant soybeans, we actually don't want to increase the fertilizer rate because it can become problematic at that point. All right, while that's running, let me see. Our cow should be what, 80% now? 80%, and that is the top one, right? I'm not like making it up. We got one at 70% right behind it. I do need to get a trailer because if I understand correctly, in order to transport between the two pens, we would need a cow trailer, which we don't need the big one because we're just going to be transporting from one, like literally right next to each other. So I can go with this smaller one here. But if I ever want to get to the point where I'm actually going to pick them up from the store or from the market, I might eventually want to get one of these, but that's not something we need right this second. So we can get by with this one for now, and we'll come back to that. Nothing here that I need at the moment. I mean, it's a... If it did soybeans, or not soybeans, sugar beets, it does do soybeans. If it did sugar beets, it might be worth it, but because it does do grass, obviously. And eventually we do need to get something that does grass for us, but I think we'll be fine without that. I like the ones that can do cultivating at the same time because that just makes it one less piece of equipment on that side of things that we have to use. We're planning on using fertilizers anyway, fertilizer sprayers and things like that anyway, because we want to use smart fertilizers. I don't know that the fertilizer attached to the seeders are, well, smart, if that makes sense. I don't know how to... I mean, it's not a big deal. We're getting it done, but there's probably a way that I'm just missing. There's probably a keybind. This just doesn't show up there. Actually, you know what I probably could do? Check over here and see... Is there some sort of double application rate, something or another here? Sprayer application rate change. Does this count as a sprayer? I don't know. I don't know if I want to do it now though either, because I might actually put down too much fertilizer. We might try that next time though. I'll have to remember to look in here because I'm probably going to forget that exact button. What if I looked at the gamepad? Is there one for the gamepad? Wow. LB in direction. What? Okay, that's definitely not what I expected, but I'll definitely look into that later. How much milk do we have? 17,000 liters. Not bad. Remind myself, how much does my thing hold? After my game's freezing up. Come on. I was like, what's going on here? At least my controller was freezing up for a second there. If I go to... Is it our animals, right? Yes. This thing holds 32,000, so... We're not quite there, but, you know, getting there. How about cheese? Oh, I haven't checked the cheese. Are we full? Okay, we're not full. Good. I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. If I let that thing fill up accidentally. Do I have anything to sell besides cheese? I think I've sold everything, haven't I? Yeah, I've sold everything. So, when is our cheese a good time to sell that? February, which we're quite a ways away. Got some sunflowers popping up over here. Sunflowers, if I remember right, is one of the things you can use for making seeds with the new conveyor thing. I think you can use all the normal grains, you know, oats, wheat, barley, sorghum. I think you can use soybeans, sunflower seeds, canola. Did I say canola? I think that's one you can use as well. I think that might be it. There might be one I'm missing, but I think that's it. Oh, corn. I'm pretty sure you can use corn as well, if I remember saying the list correctly. Now, obviously, in the context of the game, seed is just seed. There's no such thing. Well, without a mod, there are mods you can get, but without a mod, there's no such thing as corn seed or oat seed and things like that. So if you were to turn corn into seed, you could plant and make wheat. It's fine. You know, I get why they do it. Just to make they gotta, you know, they don't have to, but you know, it helps to simplify things a little bit. But there are mods you can get that make it where it does specialize seeds into specific types, which I assume would interact with that conveyor and turn it into just the seed for that particular crop. Which honestly might not be a bad idea because it's kind of makes it a little more realistic, right? It would seem silly to grow a whole bunch of soybean just to be able to plant your corn. Like, but more than likely, if you're planting a crop to make seed with, well then a lot of times that's the crop you're planting anyway, and so you know, whatever, it's fine at the end of the day. I think we're getting close to perfect on this side of things, aren't we? Well, we're still just good, but there's a couple of perfects. They could still get a little bit of a spray to bring them up a little bit more, but they're pretty close. So we'll definitely spray. Do I spray now? Or do I spray next month? I think I spray now if it lets me. Maybe. I mean, I could spray next month, even if I have to change the tires. That would be fine because this tractor should be able to take narrow tires, and that wouldn't be a problem. So I may do that actually. Just fast forward one more month. Although if you go too far, I won't be able to fertilize at all. The good thing is that we are close enough that they won't like penalize me too much if I don't get to add any more. Suppose I could try and spray, see what it does. I actually used to go to school where I went to college at was, you know, maybe 5 minutes or so down the road from that particular town's sewage treatment plant. And so for one of my biology classes, we went and, you know, did a tour of it and they talked through some stuff. And apparently people manure, for lack of a better term, people fertilizer is very sought after for various reasons. But to me, that's just is kind of gross. But why? I have no explanation for this. Why is the thought of human waste grosser to me than the thought of cow waste? It makes no sense at all. But for some reason it is. All right, well, let's see if the spraying will work at all, because we might as well. It's going to work. It's really not putting that much down. And it is perfect. All right. I mean, that worked out. Good to know. If I can do the double manure next time I try this, then obviously I won't necessarily speed it up because it goes like half speed, I think. But it just, one less step I have to do. But yeah, no, I think this was not a bad process. Like I said, we're going to use very little fertilizer here doing this because we've put all that manure down. So should, in theory, save us quite a bit of money over the course of time. I mean, on a small sample size like this, just this one field, not really that much, difference probably. But over the course of a larger sample size over time and larger fields, I would imagine it would save us quite a bit of money. Of course, there's that time investment of having to drop the manure first. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let these finish up, and then we'll come back and progress from there. All right, we're back, and we just finished. And as you can see, we did not use hardly any fertilizer at all. I think we had, 480, 490, something like that. So just used a fraction of fertilizer for this field. And it is now perfect for what it does. How's our grass fields doing? I mean, we just rolled them. That's all we did. They're actually over fertilized at the moment. They changed something, and I don't know if I completely understood what they changed, but I was reading the patch notes, and they changed something about how both soybeans and grass behave in relation to fertilizer. I don't know if that's to our benefit or what. Obviously, as you guys have seen, if you've seen any of my other playthroughs on I think it's my tribute run, I've talked about how the soybean was kind of penalizing us because we could never get the fertilizer low enough to give us full credit for the soybeans. And I think when I ran it recently, that appears to be fixed, so we still get full credit for that. But there was something about grass, and I don't remember what it was. But we're gonna. It is what it is. I mean, the grass is obviously fertilized enough for now. I'm not gonna think about it. We'll just continue on doing what we're doing. Anything we need to do today for the cows? I think we're good for the cows, right? I need some more straw soon, but not yet. Oh, no! When did they run out of... I just gave them a whole bunch of food. Well, that's annoying. How did I miss that last month? I think in my head I had basically come close to filling up the food and just didn't think anything else of it. I need to get my whole thing over here because I was actually scooping up that lime to see, to remind myself that it was in fact lime. It's like, this isn't fertilizer, is it? Because fertilizer is also white. But it is lime. Man, I felt like I checked the cows like several times a day, and I don't know how I missed that they were out of food. Oh well, I mean, I can't change it now, but it's a little weird that the one thing that I check regularly, I somehow was just distracted enough doing other things that I even opened up the cow menu last month to check their reproduction levels and still somehow missed the fact that they were out of food. Apparently I'm going crazy, guys. Or blind. Possibly both. Might disrupt their ability to reproduce on the timescale that I was hoping to see them do, but I mean, we'll get there. I mean, it's fine. They'll have the babies that they need to have, and we're gonna be fine. It's just, it might delay it a month because they weren't 100%. If you guys have been yelling at your monitors because of my foolishness, well, I didn't see your commenting. I didn't see them because obviously I record these in batches, so sometimes I don't see the remarks. I'm going to go back and watch my own video just because I'm not sure how. I never missed that. I'm not sure how I missed it this time. I think I was just so distracted by getting the manure out there and kind of seeing what that did. I think I just skimmed over the cow thing and I only looked at the one piece of information I cared about, which was the reproduction percentage. Oh well. As I've said before, you make a mistake. That's the best way to learn, to not make that mistake again. So I probably won't make that. I can't say that. There's a good chance I will at some point in the future, but unlikely. Sorry, cows. Sorry. I mean, cows can't die in this game, as far as I know. So you can keep them at 0% for 20 years and they'll just be there. They just won't make any of the manure and slurry and stuff like that. And then, of course, the reproduction stops for a period of time. I think if we were to fast forward to the end of the day, they'd get back up to 100%. So I don't think we actually will lose any reproduction. I could be wrong. But I think if they get back up to 100% before tomorrow, they might be okay. Definitely going to make another batch right away. And this straw is lasting forever. Don't know if I can skewer both these at the same time or not. Barely. All right, cows. Now you should be happy. All right, just out of curiosity, if I do fast forward a bit, will they tick up? Yeah, I'm 86 now. 96. Okay. They're gonna be fine. It had to just run out today then. Like, you know what? Probably what it was. They probably had food when I looked yesterday or last month, and then it just ran out like sometime around 5 a.m. this today or something like that. That's probably all it was. All right. No harm, no foul. They should be fine. And I think they'll still take up to 90% reproduction next month. So we shall see. Anything else I need to do today? No, we're in June. Next thing we've got to do is mow next month again. So I guess we can go ahead and get hooked up with that. And then next month we will also be preparing our maternity ward, assuming they do take up to 90%, as I'm kind of expecting and hoping. All right, let's actually we're going to put a cut in there. When we come back, we will be fast forwarding, mowing some grass, and hopefully getting ready for some new baby cows. Anyway, I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye. I wanted to give a special shout out to the following channel members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.